You've got to love the world of gaming, especially when creators start asking the question, what if, and then take the whole concept not just one, but several steps further. Now, you probably think that when it comes to shooters, every single kind of formula has been tried and tested and done over and over again. Well, as Squirrel with a Gun proves, that just isn't true. The story behind Squirrel with a Gun is a particularly interesting one. First of all, the game is being developed by just one guy named Daniel de Entremont. He's a professional 3D artist at Muse VFX, a company that has contributed to shows such as Dusk Till Dawn, Teen Wolf, and What We Do in the Shadows. As it turns out, he's had a passion for game development ever since he was a kid, and the concept for Squirrel with a Gun is based on an amusing thought Daniel had in his head about a small animal wielding a regular-sized weapon. In a March interview with Anna Kessia of 80 Level, he explains that the idea may have actually come from some stand-up performances by Eddie Izzard and Cat Williams, both of whom have mentioned a squirrel with a gun in their respective routines. That's oddly specific, but hey, why not? Another aspect to take note of in Squirrel with a Gun is that it's being developed in Unreal Engine 5. The main reason for this choice is that it's easier for solo devs to create games using UE5 since it provides access to some extremely useful development tools, one of which encompasses free assets from Epic which, according to Daniel, have really helped to streamline the development process. Game development takes a long time, and it takes even longer when you're handling hundreds of different tasks all by yourself. But in spite of the many challenges Daniel has faced and the innumerable hours he's had to invest into the project, the game is really shaping up to be something truly impressive and undeniably unique. In terms of story, well, the only real information provided on the game's Steam page is a single sentence that reads, "Squirrel with a gun. What crimes will it commit?" Obviously, the premise of the game is completely ridiculous, but what I do know is that you play as a squirrel that may or may not be the result of some weird government experiment or freak accident of nature. And why do I think this? Well, seeing that gameplay shows numerous encounters with suited agents wearing sunglasses who seem intent on catching or exterminating you, my guess is some secret organization is trying to cover up their unethical experiments or something like that. Also, in the latest trailer, it looks like the squirrel was being held in a lab or facility of some kind and manages to escape with a handgun, so yeah. In essence, Squirrel with a Gun is a sandbox game that is reminiscent of titles like GTA and Destroy All Humans, where traversal, exploration, and very special gunplay are the order of the day. Just from an animation and physics perspective, Squirrel with a Gun is affectionately done and hilariously over the top. The squirrel is able to wield weapons such as a handgun, Uzi, and even a shotgun. No, don't ask questions, it can just do all of that. One particular mechanic that Squirrel with a Gun harnesses as much as it possibly can is the recoil from weapons. When you fire a shot from a handgun, the squirrel is propelled backwards by the force of the shot and does a backflip before being able to fire another shot. An Uzi propels you backwards or, if aimed towards the ground, acts like a bullet-powered jetpack that lets you fly around. Finally, a shotgun has a huge amount of recoil and basically sends the squirrel careening backwards. We're definitely breaking some fundamental rules of physics in this game. Not only does this make combat absolutely hilarious, but it turns the standard third-person shooter formula on its head. What would happen if you were a small woodland creature able to wield human-sized armaments? Squirrel with a Gun answers this question that, statistically speaking, nobody asked. But arguably more interesting than the combat is how you can use weapons for traversal. As I mentioned earlier, an Uzi can function as a jetpack, and in certain instances, a few well-timed handgun shots can help you across gaps that would otherwise be impassable. You may be an overpowered squirrel, but you're still very much mortal, so using whatever tools you have at your disposal to get around and cross obstacles is crucial. Speaking of which, seeing that you're a squirrel, you can climb trees and telephone poles and easily get into spaces that humans simply can't. This makes for some unique gameplay and really enhances the whole exploration thing since there's almost nowhere you can't get to. Other than avoiding agents, you can also accept missions from residents and be rewarded with goodies for your efforts. I mean, you're a squirrel, so surely money isn't any good to you. Is the in-game currency acorns? All I'm saying is that if it isn't, that's the biggest missed opportunity ever. But you can also choose to be a bad squirrel and just mug people to get stuff from them. I'm not sure if this constitutes a morality system or if squirrels can actually be evil, but I guess if you're a sentient woodland creature with agency, it's possible to be a very bad critter indeed. I don't actually know if this affects the game's ending or progression in any way, but it's my sincere hope that it does. Of course, this is an indie game being developed by just one guy, so I totally understand if this doesn't end up being the case. Combat isn't just guns either. It seems that you can also hurl bricks and other projectiles at agents, and if you time it just right, you can parry their melee attacks and take them out like you're the squirrel version of John Wick. And if there are just too many agents around, it looks like you can also slow down time and take them out that way if you want to make it out with your nuts intact. Tree nuts, that is. The great thing about games, and in particular indie games, is that people can develop whatever they like without fear of their work being curtailed or funding pulled. What this means is that developers can be as creative as they want, which opens the door to new types of games and all new experiences for gamers. And besides all that, the world of gaming is perfect for creating scenarios that are impossible in real life but perfectly normal in a virtual world. To my mind, as much as Squirrel with a Gun may be tongue-in-cheek and comedic, it's actually incredibly innovative and original. And even if it doesn't end up being the best third-person shooter of all time, and if you ask me, it could totally take that title, it's almost certainly the single most memorable one. I'm really rooting for Mr. de Intremont here, and I really hope Squirrel with a Gun is a smash success when it finally releases. There's no release date yet, but optimistically the game could be out in late 2023 or, more likely, at some point in 2024. But I'm honestly just speculating here, and Daniel may choose to add even more features and mechanics to the game, which means development will take longer. At any rate, when Squirrel with a Gun releases, it'll be available on PC. This doesn't mean the game won't be on consoles, but there's been no official confirmation yet, so you'll just have to sit tight for now. So that's it for today. What do you think about Squirrel with a Gun? Will it be the best third-person shooter ever, or are we just nuts? Let me know in the comments, and please, go easy on the squirrel puns. Please give this video a like and subscribe to the channel for more gaming, VR, and tech content. From me and the crew here at Metasquad, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Later!